Welcome to Fire Within. I'm your host, Joel Young. Fire Within is your weekly entrepreneurship program in the Okanagan, where we visit with genuine entrepreneurs and learn about their entrepreneurial spirit and the roads they travel from idea to launch of an entrepreneurial opportunity. This evening on this show, I'm particularly pleased to be introducing to you to a true textbook entrepreneur, Sheila Chutskoff, founder and developer of Oranj Dance and Fitness Spa in downtown Kelowna on Lawrence. Thank you for coming, Sheila.
Thanks for having me.
Sheila, please share with our viewers tonight what is Oranj, and tell us about the uniqueness of the name, because automatically when I first met you and I saw the name Oranj, I thought, Orange? But then you described it to me at least 4 years ago when I met you.
Well, first, people always say Oranj, which makes this sound so much fancier, but it's Oranj.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks for pronouncing it right.
Yeah.
We are a group fitness studio where you can come and take any type of group fitness class, whether it's dance, fitness, yoga, boot camp. But really, we're so much more than that, that Oranj has turned into a community. And moms will drop their children off at childcare, and they hop into classes. They have fresh smoothies. We have retail. So it's really that healthy community that you can go to, make friends, feel good, work out, eat right.
How long have you had Oranj up and running?
This Friday, or this Saturday, February 1st, will be 6 years.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, our 6-year birthday.
So I met you probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe?
Oh yeah, we go back.
Yeah. When I want our viewers to know, when I first moved to the Okanagan about 7 years ago, there were two things that people that I came in contact with said to me. Two. One is, have you been to Bliss Bakery and tasted their coffee? And the second one was, have you been to Oranj?
Yay!
True story. Absolute true story. And I just said to Sheila before we rolled the cameras, Sheila is the only person, man, woman, or child, that I have met since I moved to the Okanagan who has an educational degree in entrepreneurship, and in her case from Royal Roads University on the West Coast. And I think that's amazing, because it makes you more interesting, not only to me, Sheila, but to the world out there, that you are a person with a genuine background in entrepreneurship. Not only have you begun your own entrepreneurial venture, but you've acquired skills through the academic process of all about entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. Royal Roads was an amazing experience where I went to school, and it was funny, I think the dean finally just got tired of turning me down, saying I couldn't go there. They wanted people with a lot of life experience, and I was fresh out of university, 18 years old, and I had it set in my head that I was going to Royal Roads.
Okay.
And I called the dean and I put in my application, and they really wanted people with at least 5-10 years like real life experience under their belt. But I think enough personal phone calls and am I in yet got me in, and I loved it.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me at all, knowing you as I do. Tell the viewers where you're from, Sheila. You're a Kootenai girl, aren't you?
I am. Born and raised just outside of Nelson, between Nelson and Castlegar, so small town girl, and loved it. When you grow up there, all you want to do is get out of there, and now that I've been out for so long, all I want to do is go back and really value it. Yeah, the trees are pretty amazing.
You still got family there, right?
All of my family's back there.
All your family's back there. Graduating in a degree in entrepreneurship from Royal Roads, why did you choose, as opposed to any other application or any other venture, why did you choose dance and fitness as opposed to other applications of the skill sets that you acquired in university? What was it about the dance and fitness / spa that drew you to create, and maybe you can tell our viewers how that all came about? What was the genesis of the idea for Oranj?
Well, health and fitness has always been a big part of my life, and so I knew I would be in that industry. When I worked for Lululemon Athletica, I was their regional marketing manager. And so for over 6 years, I worked for them, and my last role was regional marketing manager for Western Canada. So all my job was to go into fitness classes, take the classes, get instructors in gear, and deal with all the professional athletes. And so with that, I would go to Calgary, and I'd have my favorite yoga on this side of town, my favorite boot camp over here, and my favorite dance over here. And I really got sick and tired of driving around everywhere. I got sick and tired of no one remembering my name after they got my money, and no one giving a good guest experience. And so sitting down with Daryl, one of my business partners now, he was at the time the general manager of Lululemon, and we sat down and Lululemon is very much about goal coaching and really making sure that you achieve what you want in life. And he knew, Daryl knew, I wanted my own health and wellness studio. And he sat down and he's like, Sheila, I feel like the dance industry can be very pretentious and needs a good guest experience. And I looked at him and I'm like, oh my goodness, because I lived in Australia with Lulu, in Portland, in California, with Lululemon. And so I told Daryl, I'm like, Daryl, it is not just the dance industry. And I was like, it's boot camp, it's yoga. I was like, we need to revolutionize the fitness industry. And Lululemon's vision, and Chip Wilson, when he was the founder, his vision was to revolutionize the retail industry of Lululemon and to instill goal coaching and empowerment and to really empower your staff and let them achieve their goals and dreams. And yeah, they make great clothing, but really it's about culture. And so Daryl and I, knowing that culture and Daryl being a huge creator of it with Lululemon, we decided to revolutionize the fitness industry. So take everything we knew about culture and goal setting and bring it into the fitness industry and create that same community.
When I met you, for the viewers tonight, to remind you, I write a weekly column on entrepreneurship with the Kelowna Capital News. And shortly thereafter meeting Sheila, I interviewed her for my entrepreneurship column in the Capital News. And I remember very vividly our conversation, Sheila, and we talked about the people that at that time flow through your spa location on Lawrence. And comparatively speaking, from that time to a few years, just a few short years thereafter, it seems to me your flow through with customers or clients, participants, has increased dramatically in your Kelowna location.
It has, and it's really all been grassroots, word of mouth. We don't do billboard advertising, we don't do radio. And it's just about sitting down and be like, hey, friend, I have a place you need to go try out. And we just opened up in Fort McMurray, Alberta. It's people.
Your first franchise.
Our first franchise, and it is doing amazing, and people beating down the door to get in, and it's really awesome to see the word of mouth already starting and people just jumping on the Oranj bandwagon. I love it.
It is. And are you already started to think about your next location?
I am. I actually am in Kelowna for a week, and then I'm going to be heading out to a few other places and going to be meeting with potential franchisees.
Oh, good. Excellent. Terrific. That's good. Have you thought about, through all this time of building Oranj, that whole Oranj concept, if I might call it that, a concept, because I think it is a concept, have you thought about other entrepreneurial ventures to broaden your base with other entrepreneurial ventures?
I have. I want to hit a few more of my big goals with Oranj first. And one of them was to open up studio number 2 and make sure that studio number 1, Kelowna, still runs well. And I've been gone a year, and our staff are amazing. And
it just doesn't seem that long.
Doesn't it? I know.
No, honestly, you've been gone
a year.
Building up Fort Mac.
Pre-branding and building it.
It doesn't seem that long at all.
Time flies, I know. And I just, like, when I come back and I see my studio here running amazing, I know I've done my job right. That you can't open up a successful business without trust. And you see so many times and so many mistakes that they try to do it on their own all the time and don't delegate, but I have such a great team. So I want a couple more under my belt before I jump onto other entrepreneurial ventures.
Because I know we talked in the past about potentially Kamloops, maybe Abbotsford, and maybe your hometown of Nelson area.
So I've looked into those places. I have a few more ideas under my belt. What I'm really noticing now, just how many other facilities really have us in their radar, where I was like, okay, it's a huge compliment, but I definitely keep where my next locations are an inside voice until I've secured it.
Well, particularly because you, as we've already discussed this show, you developed a concept, and you don't necessarily want to throw that concept out for everybody to have at it. You've proven it to yourself that the concept that you originated is workable, it's doable, and it's achieving a level of success that it seems to satisfy you up to this point at least. Not that you haven't climbed over some hurdles.
Yeah.
Talk to our viewers about not only in the Kelowna location, but on the Fort McMurray location. Sheila, if you can, talk to us about successes and any constraints you've experienced in both locations. Starting off with, first of all, successes. What's made you happy in the two locations since you've started?
I would have to say, yeah, at the end of the day, knowing that your business is financially successful is great, but that just helps me sleep at night knowing that my bills are getting paid. But to me, to see all my staff so excited to come to work, to sit there and have some of my staff that have worked with me for 6 years, and to see them build their own businesses within mine and create, you know, Laura Martini, who's created her retreats out of that and is now ventured off, and she still works for Oranj, but to really see the entrepreneurial drive in a lot of my staff, and to see the coaching and goal coaching that's taken them way more advanced in their life and just really achieving what they want. And then I would say the next success is to have guests come up to me and seeing the weight loss. We've had some of our guests that have lost hundreds of pounds.
Really?
Yeah, she was well over 250 pounds, and you know, we've had multiple of them, and to see them come up and bring their family and their friends, and just, you can't put a price on that.
No, you can't.
So that's what I would say makes me the happiest.
And constraints?
Constraints, Kelowna was our build out. That we had the most crooked contractors you could have had. And you know,
in the location you're in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And we were not even halfway through build out. They spent 3/4 of their budget. It was awful. I had to fire them, lock them out. And at that time, I'm a 25-year-old girl that had, you know, like just left Lululemon. I'm opening up my own business. I don't have bottomless pockets. Yes. We had working for a huge corporate company. And so to have that happen, and to then me ending up project managing and building my whole studio. I don't have a contractor to do it. Like finding the trades. I don't know about electrical. I don't know about anything. I'm like, knock on wood, someone was on my side, but it opened on time, within budget, like all those things. Like, you don't ever hire a contractor on a handshake, ever.
Yes, I agree with you.
Learning number one. So
well, let's talk for a moment about your marketplace. You've touched on it because the concept, as you've described, is, I interpret it as kind of an open door policy for your facility. You know, well, when people talk to other people, I do myself. I've referred people to your place just in conversation. Oh, go check out Oranj.
Thank you.
No, it's just a matter of fact.
Yeah.
You know, because it's easy to do. Or conversely, have you heard of Oranj? No, I haven't heard of Oranj. Well, guess what? It's a dance and fitness spa in downtown Kelowna. Go check it out. They do yoga. They do, you know. So it's easy to promote Oranj, Sheila.
Do you tell them how great our hugs are? I'm just saying.
I tell them that your hugs are great, but that Sheila's taller than I am.
Yeah, that's okay. I know I'm tall. I know.
Yeah, I'm teasing you. How do you approach the marketplace for this location, and how do you approach the marketplace for Fort McMurray? Because I know the clientele on Fort McMurray is a little bit different than downtown Kelowna.
You know, Fort McMurray is, to me, almost so easy because we've created everything in Kelowna and everything's still new in Fort Mac. So I just recreate in Fort McMurray what we've done in Kelowna, which is still new and exciting out there. So it's very much a new market, and they're jumping on everything we do. Here in Kelowna, since I opened 6 years ago, 23 other fitness and yoga studios have opened. And
that's a fact?
That is a fact. I can count them on my hand. And so when I look at that, one, it's exciting because this entire area now, people are seeing the opportunity here. The more health and fitness places provided, the healthier market you have, right? But two, you have to be different. And you have to make sure that you are always on your toes. So with this studio, it's funny that you asked that, is I have a staff meeting at the end of this week, and I've actually bought my staff, everybody, the book, Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh, yes.
And it's such an easy, fun read, but it's really about, hey, you know, like, don't ever think that the cheese is always going to be sitting in the same spot. So those little mice that go through the maze wanting to find the cheese, well, yes, like, our cheese is there, but one day it might not be.
That's right.
You know, and with more and more studios coming and the market always changing, I want my staff to help me on that. Like, it's their studio, and they treat it like it's their home. So we're going to be having a brainstorming.
And that's a plus. Good.
Yeah, a
Good
brainstorming meeting.
Good for you. So let's go back to my question. How do you market Oranj, and how do you market Oranj Kelowna and Oranj Fort McMurray? How do you get the word out that, look at us, we're wonderful, we have this diverse product line of health and wellness services for you, come get us? How do you do that?
Social media is a big one.
Yeah.
So Facebook's really big for us, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah.
But really, Joel, it's getting out there to meet people and making friends and being outgoing. My business partner always laughs when he comes to town to visit me, because everywhere I go, there's somebody I know, and he's like, wow, he's like, are you the mayor of Kelowna? Are you going to run this place? I'm like, I don't want to run it. I just want to own it. I'm just kidding.
There you go.
But
you go. Yeah.
really, it's just about getting to know people, remembering them by first name. And, you know, they tell their friends, and they want to come work out at a place that they're going to be remembered by first name. And so when we first opened the studio in Kelowna, I wasn't even sure if people were going to walk in. And, you know, we opened our doors, guests came. We had sometimes 2 people in a class. And they would bring their friends next time, so it was 4. And then it was 8, and then 16. And I was lucky enough in Fort McMurray that I was pre-branding up there for quite a few months.
Yes, you were.
Met a lot of new people, right away got onto the social media, had our Kelowna group of friends that would tell their friends in Fort McMurray it was coming. So when we opened our doors, my yoga classes filled up every single time at 47 people. Like, it's insane.
With 47 people?
Oh, we opened with 85 classes a week, and within 2 months we had
85?
85. In 2
Sheila,
months we had to do 115 a week.
listen to what you're saying. It's phenomenal.
It's amazing.
It is.
So,
it is
and
amazing.
I'm really excited about it, and our team. So
Yeah, you don't have to. Did you hire a whole new crop of people, or have you used some of the staff from the Kelowna location in Fort McMurray?
it's one of our core values to contribute to our local community. So every single staff member in Fort McMurray was hired from Fort McMurray.
Okay, okay.
And I have just now recently had one of my Kelowna staff go up there because she requested to. So I definitely, any community I want to go to, I want to hire locally.
Yep, yep, yep. And you found qualified instructors up there?
Amazing people.
Well, that's an obvious question, isn't it?
Do you know how many people said, oh, good luck getting instructors? And how many people said, good luck getting staff? And I have a stack of resumes. We have amazing staff. And I was like, I knew it. They just want a cool place to work.
Yeah.
You know, like they
so
want.
You've got dance instructors, you've got yoga instructors.
Oh, yeah.
And fitness instructors.
Fitness spin. I have 14 childcare staff, just people to take care of my children. I have 12 people working up front of house managers, like all our instructors. We have over 50 staff there. Like, it's amazing.
Boy, it's unbelievable, because I remember the times you and I would talk about Fort McMurray, and now you're telling me it's become a success that feels like, from the outside looking in, an overnight success.
You know what? It's really doing awesome. And what I see is that all these other businesses are like, it's really hard to keep staff.
Yeah.
But if you have that culture instilled in your business and that goal setting, and right from the start, people want to be part of something bigger.
Yeah.
You know, they want to be remembered, they want to be important, they want to feel empowered, and they are all creating
empowered.
Oranj.
Well, it's, as you may recall in your studies with entrepreneurship, job satisfaction is critical for an entrepreneur or somebody working in an entrepreneurial environment. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Thus the title for this series, The Fire Within, dealing with the emotional fire that burns within it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sheila, talk to our viewers about the different marketing techniques that you've employed with your Oranj concept over the last several years in both locations, Kelowna, an obvious one, and now, as you've described so vividly, the last year, getting Fort McMurray up and running. as a preamble to the future for other locations?
You know, I'd have to say guerrilla marketing is a really big part of it. And one story that comes to mind, I always try to spin something into a story. And my little sister and I bought her tickets to go see New Kids on the Block in Kelowna.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, are we gonna dress up, Mandy? And Mandy's like, well, she's like, yeah, I guess I can put a little something on. I'm like, if we're dressing up, we are dressing up. And so she had on a mullet. I had like my bangs so back home, they were touching the roof of the car, like huge sunglasses, like neon. And we come up and one of my shirts says, like, I'm your cover girl. And the other one says, I love New Kids on the Block. And like total rockers show up, no one's dressed up. People are taking pictures of us. We're like, oh my God, we were so embarrassed.
Freaky.
So we go to the concert
okay.
and we end up sneaking into the penalty box and we're right like front row and New Kids on the Block run by and we touch them and we just have the best time ever. And then I go home and the GM of Prospera Place came to yoga and he's like, oh, by the way, you made it into the newspaper. And I was like, what? And I guess there was a reporter there, Alicia Dacey, and she was writing about New Kids on the Block. And she said the highlight to the night was two girls that were dressed up like 80s rockers and talked about our shirts. And she's like, they were later rewarded by touching them. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I thought to myself, I'm like, how can I turn that into a story? And so I wrapped up a basket of oranges with ribbons and I put a little note on it and said, to Alicia, I'm not always an 80s rocker. And I left my business card and dropped it off at the news place. And so she called me up and she's like, Sheila. And I was like, hi. And she's like, okay, you got my attention, what's up? And I was like, Alicia, you knew my every move. And she's like, Sheila, she's like, when you guys moved, everyone followed you and not New Kids on the Block. And chatting to her, she's like, Sheila, you sound so much fun over there. And she's like, I want to do a story on you. And so she sent her reporter down and did a huge story on Oranj. And so we ended up getting like front page, full color on a Sunday like morning newspaper for the Daily Courier. That would cost thousands of dollars to get for ad space. And to me, it's like, that is like the best example of guerrilla marketing. Like, how do you spin things into a story? Like me having a fun concert with my sister, you can spin into a story.
Tasteful things.
Right?
Tasteful.
Exactly.
Tasteful, fun things. Oh, that's neat. I love that.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
And knowing you as little as I do, or as much as I do, doesn't surprise me one darn bit, Sheila.
You would have been there wearing an outfit like that too.
I would have.
It was so much fun.
Oh yeah, I would have had a Tarzan outfit on. What else in marketing? Anything else come to mind?
Tons of community involvement. So our largest outdoor yoga class that we do.
Yes.
The first year we did it in Kelowna, we had just under 100 people. We are moving into year 6 now this year. Last year we had 650 people at it. It's huge. It's turning into an annual event and it's for an amazing cause. And we've started it in Fort McMurray now as well.
You did?
So first year was 100 people, this year, or last year 200, and it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Did you hear that, viewers? Up to 600?
650 came last year.
650 people to, where did you do it?
We do it right in Kelowna, right downtown here at Stewart Park.
Oh, at Stewart Park, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, yes, yes.
In the sun, by the water, amazing DJ. It's a good time.
You're amazing. It's fearless. If I could think of one word to describe Sheila Chutskoff of Oranj, it's fearless. You're willing to try almost anything, aren't you?
Well, and you know what's so funny, Joel, is that I always think to myself that if I lost all the money in the world and I didn't have anything, I still have my family, my friends, and my mind. And those are priceless. Like, no one can take that from me.
No, that's correct.
And it really has been a good driver.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for visiting with us tonight and sharing you with our viewing audience. That's it for this week of Fire Within. I'm Joel Young. See you next week.